Today I am going to explain you the code for the registration and login, and I have shared the link below for this code, so you can download it from there. If you want to know how to send verification email and get verified the user, so this video will be helpful to you. In SQL Server, I have created the table user. Now go to the Visual Studio and I have added in model class. In this model, this user.cs file contains the table. I have created one folder named partial. In this I have added two class files, user.cs and userlogin.cs. In the user.cs file, it contains all the attributes for the registration, and in the userlogin.cs file, it contains all the attributes required for the login. I have removed the .partial from here. In this user partial class, you can see that I have applied the validation for all the attributes in this class. You can see that I have added the regular expression here for the phone number. I have added the maximum and minimum length for the zip code. You can see the minimum length is 5 and the maximum length is 10. For the password, the minimum length is 6. So if the user entered the password with length 5, then it will print the error message that minimum 6 characters are required. So now you know that how the model works. Now let us go to the controller. In the controller, I have created two controllers, one for registration, one for login, and the one welcome controller is for the page which will redirect user after login. So let us first go to the registration controller. In this registration controller, the HTTP GET method for registration will take you to the view. So now in this file, you can see I have added the if method. If the user status is not null, then it will check the message, and if the message is also not null, then it will print the success that user is registered. Otherwise, it will display the form for the registration. I have added this form from the scaffolding. I have commented out this two fields because the activation code will be null, and by default its active value is set to false. After the user gets verified, then the isActive field will get true. So now let us see the post method. In this post method, I have excluded this two field and get the user detail in this user object from the user model. In this method, we will first check if the model state is valid or not. If the model state is valid, then it will check for the email if the email is already exist or not, and for that I have used the isEmailExist method. So where this method is created, I have created it here below This non-action attribute will show that this is method which is called inside some method. Is email exist method will take the email ID and will check in the database that if this email ID is exist or not. I have taken a variable v where it will compare that email ID with all the email ID which is already existed in this database. If is exist method found that email is already exist, then it will print the message that email is already exist and return the view for the user. Here you can see that activation code is generated by this method, which is built-in method. User.isActive, we set it to the false from here. This reason is used to save all the details into the database and sending the verification link to the user. So here I have created one method, send verification link email. Now this method is also created below in this controller. You can see here. So here you can see how to send an email to the user. So this method will take the email ID and the activation code which we have generated above. You can see I have used this built-in method to generate the activation code, and this activation code we will pass here. We will take the variable verify URL which contains the controller name register / the method name verify account which will use to verify the account, and then the activation code which we have passed here. Then the link will be generated. Now here you can see the from email. In this we need to pass our email address from where we need to pass. You can see the from email. In this we need to pass our email address. In this from email password we need to pass the password for the email which we have mentioned here. So you need to replace this with your actual password and with your actual email address. Now the string subject is the subject for our email address. Here I have written that your account is successfully created, and the string body is for the body paragraph. Here I have written that we are excited to tell you that you are now a part of the Krishna Tech Lab. And here you can see that I have used the SMTP to send the message, and here the SMTP.send will pass the variable message, and that there is a from email and to email. The to email is contained the email ID which is passed by the user, and the message will send successfully. Now after the email has been sent, the verify account method will be called. In this verify account method, it will change the isActive value to the true if the activation code is matches with the user ID. Otherwise, it will return that invalid request. And it will also returns the view for the verify account. Let us go to the view. So if that viewback.status is not null, then it will return that successfully you have activated your account. And if the status is null, then it will return the error message. Not valid, then it will return the message that invalid request and again loads the registration form. After the registration, it will go to the login page. If the user is verified, then he and she can log in. And this get method will return the view for the login. So let us go to the view first. In this, there is just a normal form with two fields, email ID and password. After submitting this form, it will check whether the user is verified or not. If the user is not verified, then it will print the message that please verify your email first. And if the user is verified, then it will redirect to the welcome page. Here I have added the remember me. So if the user will click on that, then the information for email ID and password will be stored in a cookies. So I have used the cookie here. And if the user enters the wrong credential, then it will print the message that invalid credential are provided. Here there is one button for the logout also. So the form authentication.signout method is used for the logout. So let us run this application and see that how it works. In the welcome controller, there is a by default method called index, and I have added a view for that and print the just welcome here. So let me just run this application so you will get the better idea that how it works. Here you can see the registration form is displayed. Here you can see the registration page is displayed. Enter the first name. Here you can see I have entered the wrong mobile number, so it print the error message because it is 9 digit and it requires the 10 digit. So it prints the error message. Let us set password Krish123 and click on the create button. You can see the message that success, your registration is successfully done and the activation link is sent by the email. So let me check my email ID. So here you can see in my email I have got the mail and here is the link. So let me copy this and open here. So you can see the verify account page is loaded when I click the link. It prints the success message, and when I click on the login, it will redirect me to the login page where I use my email ID and password. Click on remember me and click on create. It will redirect me to the welcome page. So now I hope that you understand the flow, how it works. If you have any question, you can comment below. I have already shared a link for the code below, so you can get the code from there. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe my video and like the videos. Thank you.